and welcome back to my channel. I'm Heloise Greeff, one of eToro's most successful popular investors. In the third and final part of this series, we'll be looking at your action plan to make sure you are best placed for the upcoming recovery. We've been hearing a lot about the upcoming recession, and today we're going to go through some tips, tricks, and hopefully mistakes that you can avoid in the upcoming recession to make sure that you make the most of this opportunity to grow your future wealth. If you like the content of my channel, please remember to subscribe and stay tuned to the end, where we're going to be talking about mistakes that you should avoid in this upcoming recession. So now that we've talked about how to think about investing during a market downturn, let's talk about the game plan and the actions that you can take to get going with investing during market downturn. So number one is you need to accept that you're not special. I know this hurts, but by accepting that you're not special, it allows you to let go of your ego. And that's a really important place for any investor to be. It was the hardest lesson that I had to learn during the first 6 months of my investing journey. But once you let go of that ego, it also allows you to do a second thing. If you're able to accept that you're not special, that means you don't have to do a lot of hard work. By saying I'm not unique, there are others like me in the same situation as me, you can look at asset allocations that are suitable for your scenario, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's actually a fabulous trick. Number two is that you have to understand the basics. So now that you've let go of the ego, you can start to collect knowledge. We live in the information age, and just having access to information is no longer going to give you a competitive edge. In fact, the most important thing now is that you have to be able to collate, assess, summarize, and most importantly, act on the information that you're able to gather. That's what's going to give you a competitive edge. So if you want to know where to collect information, I'll give some links in the comment below, or you can scan the QR code up here. In one of the corners, there's a QR code which you can scan, where I've linked a lot of resources that are super useful, that I myself use, and that will give you some discount. A lot of them are also free as well. Number three is you have to know your risk profile. By knowing your risk profile, you can sort of begin to assess where you are and that volatility line. And that will lay the foundation for your investment strategy. And it's really easy to get your risk score. Just Google Google risk score, and you'll be able to get a questionnaire, go through the questionnaire, and it'll give you a score of what your risk is. And it's quite an interesting one, actually. I have done a lot of the ones that are available, and I'm not as cool as I think, but I'm cooler than I should be, I guess. But yeah, it's a really fun way. It's a really good way to understand what your risk score is, and it does lay the foundation for your investment strategy. Number four is to prepare for volatility, because even though there is a constant upward trajectory, there will be volatility along the way. And the best way to prepare for volatility is to diversify your portfolio. So this is to make sure that you have access or you have exposure to different asset classes. Now, this might be stocks, it might be property, it might be bonds. Property you can get through real estate investment trust. It could be bonds, could be a little bit of crypto, any ETFs. Yeah, there's just make sure that you get a good diversified portfolio. And by this, I don't mean buying a bunch of stocks from the same sector. That doesn't count as diversification. Finally, number five is to keep investing. The most heartbreaking thing I see is that people stop investing during a market downturn. Now, I know it's really difficult because we all have different things going on in our life. There's a cost of living crisis. We might be unsure about our employment, our income. But even if it is just something like $5 or £5, or however much you can continue to put away on a regular basis, It gives you the advantage of dollar cost averaging. And that means you're not waiting to buy at the absolute low, but you're also not missing the absolute low. So by constantly drip feeding a little bit of money into the stock market, you're able to take advantage of the reduced prices that are currently available. So my key golden rule for investing is so simple. I hope you can all remember it. It's only 2 words, and if you've been following me for a long time, you would have definitely heard me. And I hope that when I wake you up in your sleep, you can repeat them. That's patience and discipline. Patience helps us accept what's happening around us, and discipline helps us to implement the plan we had, regardless of what's happening around us. And that's why, even though this borders a bit on a philosophy lesson, it is my key strategy for my investing. Every action also has consequences, and I see a lot of actions that I'm going to call them mistakes because the results or the consequences of those are absolutely dire to the investor. Number one is I see people forgetting the game plan. Remember, long-term investing is just that. It means we are aiming to grow our wealth over the long term. And if you forget that during even an 18-month market downturn, yes, it's painful, but over a 10-20 year horizon, it's really not a significant part of your investment journey. That often results in people selling low and buying high. The next mistake I see is people having unrealistic expectations. In long-term investing, there is no get-rich-quick scheme. I'm sorry to be the unpopular one to tell you. If you don't like me because I'm saying this, that's fine. I'm not here for you to like me. I'm here to tell you the truth. And if you have to hear this truth, long-term investing is not a quick rich scheme. The objective is to grow your wealth over the long term. So, if you have unrealistic expectations, you are going to fall into that dire consequence of selling low and buying high. I see that way too often. Number three, the third mistake people make is they're driven by their emotions. That's that emotional turmoil and roller coaster that I was talking about. If we are able to disjoint our emotions from what's happening in the market, we can make rational decisions and ensure that we are not selling low and buying high. Essentially, you can see that we're trying to avoid the same mistake here. Number four is trying to time the market. There is no way to time the market without a crystal ball, which, if you know somebody who has one, let me know. But I'm not going to hold my breath. Dollar cost averaging is the only way to ensure that you get money into the stock market without trying to time the market. I never see this end well for anybody. And number five is when people give up. It's heartbreaking to see, and that's just when they decide that it's not for them, investing is not their thing. If in the first 6 months when I had my portfolio going down, give up, it would have probably been the greatest mistake of my life. But I'm so happy that I persevered and I kept going. The most important thing is to just keep learning from your mistakes. Grow and grow up, but don't give up. So that is the wrap up for my lowdown on how to invest during a market downturn. I hope by giving you a good insight into how I think about allocating my portfolio, you can take away some tips and tricks about how to think about constructing your portfolio. But the main takeaway is that I'm so excited about this once in a generation opportunity for wealth being shifted. And the only thing that you will regret if you don't invest during this market downturn is that you didn't take advantage of this amazing opportunity. So if you like my content, please subscribe to my channel and let me know in the comment section whether you are increasing, reducing, or keeping your investments stable at this point. Until next time, bye now.